little while back, I made a little stop motion video to talk about Denman brushes, or Denman style brushes. They're known by a lot of names, but it's one of the most versatile brushes that you can have in your kit. It's a modern styling tool that has one of the longest histories. Back when handheld blow dryers were first invented, all the people working for Vidal Sassoon, they had a Denman brush and a blow dryer, and that's what they had to work with. I'm going to show you many of the different ways that you can use a Denman brush. This first video is going to be on straight to mildly curly hair, we'll call it. In the next video, we're going to get deeper into texture and talk about how the Denman brush can be useful. But let's just get started. One of the toughest parts about having a bob is blow drying this hair back here. Sometimes that hair can start doing unruly things. If it dries poorly, it's either going to be too poofy or it's going to flip out. So the first thing we're going to do is a flat wrap with the Denman brush. This is a 9-row brush. You could also use a 7-row brush. I just really prefer the 9-row brush. I'm going to use my blow dryer with a nozzle. And in order to keep from burning my guest's head, we're going to have her tilt forward a little bit. Now, one of the other things to bear in mind when you're using a blow dryer is make sure that you're always blowing across the scalp, never directly at it. So for instance, if I blow dry straight at my arm, I can't stand that for very long. This dryer's nice and hot. Yep, that's too hot. Can't do it. But if I'm blow drying across my arm, I could stay there virtually all day. You can see on my hairy old arm how it was affecting all the hairs. And don't be afraid to be ambidextrous. I'm going to start by blowing the hair completely around the head in one direction, and then I'm going to go in the other direction. So that's when I need to switch hands. The real trick to this though, is if I'm beginning by blow drying the hair this way, I'm going to start by taking little bites. Blow dry a little bit here, and you want to follow through all the way to the ends and wrap it around the body. This is what's going to make sure those ends are nice and polished. And I'm going to keep on going and grabbing a little more, a little more, a little more as time goes on until I make it all the way to the other side. Then I switch hands, begin where I left off, and go the other direction. All the while, my brush and my blow dryer are married. They're just best friends. They're staying together. I'm not going to set the blow dryer and let the brush outrun it. Anywhere the brush goes, the blow dryer is going to go. Always blowing across the scalp rather than at it. Everything's skewing this way a little bit, so I'm going to go one more time. Now cool it down. Hair likes to stay where it cools down. So if you just leave it hot and then let it go, you can still potentially manipulate it on accident. But if you cool it down, it's going to want to hold that position that it cooled down in. And you can see how everything is, even though it's short, that I was able to get it to curve around the body a little bit. If I want less volume, I'm going to flat wrap down. If I want more volume, I can flat wrap up. I'm still going over, but I'm changing the way that I control the roots. Keep taking just little bite-sized pieces of that hair, and it actually ends up going pretty fast. So if you're doing this technique on yourself, then you're going to start with a blow dryer in one hand, brush in the other, and you'll literally start going from behind your head. Notice this nozzle is not parallel to my scalp. Don't be afraid to turn that nozzle. And we're going to follow all the way around. Follow all the way through, blowing around to the front, switch hands, and then switch directions. Follow. Next section, Don't forget to follow all the way through. So it's not just this anymore. We're going to follow all the way through. Another name for this is the half round brush. This can be used just like a round brush. Now that I've flat wrapped down there, that hair is much too short to get a round brush under. I'm going to take my Denman brush, set it on top, turn it over, and then you can spin it and use it literally just like you would a round brush. And I want you to bear in mind with all of these bristles, whether you're flat wrapping, round brushing with it, just because you have all of these bristles doesn't mean you have to use them all. A lot of times I may just use the bristles on the front of my brush or just the bristles on the back of my brush. It really depends on what I'm doing. So I'm going to start here, and in a minute I'm also going to migrate to the side. So just to make things interesting, I'm going to blow dry this side with my Denman brush or half round brush, just like it was a round brush. I'm going to use a round brush on the other side so we can compare the two. So on my round brush side, it's actually a little bit bouncier, has a little bit more volume, and actually looks a little shorter, I think, because of that. But I was able to get a little bit more contour to it. But there's not that much difference between my 7-row brush here, like a round brush, and my round brush side. As well as in the back, I was able to achieve some really nice shape in a way that I wouldn't have been able to do with the round brush. And the third and final thing in this video is going to be for shorter hair. And you can use this for even hair that tends to be a little bit wavier, especially when you're trying to create a lot of volume on those shorter hairstyles. Because of the unique bristle shape of this brush, I can set it right down on top of the hair and just turn it over 180 degrees. And I automatically have a lot of tension. The nice thing about that is maybe we try again. I'll turn it over almost all the way over. And now I have a lot of tension, but not so much that I can't move the brush. So if I take my Denman brush, turn it over to where I can't pull it, and then back it off just a little bit, then I can grab just enough tension to really show that hair who's boss and put in those shorter, straighter hairstyles with a lot of volume. Don't forget, once you've used that blow dryer to show that hair who's boss, then come back with a dry styling product to reinforce and define. So we blow dried short hairs and gave them some contour using the body to help shape. We used our Denman brush like a round brush, and then we used it to create tension and achieve a whole lot of volume on shorter hair. Next time we talk about the Denman brush, we're going to be using it for curly hair. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw and you want to see some more, go ahead and check out some of my other videos. Feel free to share with any of your nerdy friends. Click the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Let me know what else you want to hear about. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.